You're watching Cybersecurity Inside, a videocast where you can discover what you need to know about cybersecurity. Here are your hosts, Tom Garrison and Camille Morehart.
Hi, and welcome to the Cybersecurity Inside podcast. I'm your host, Tom Garrison, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Camille Morehart. Today, we have a very special guest. Our guest is Mathieu Gorge. He is CEO and founder of VigiTrust, providing integrated risk management SaaS solutions to clients in 120 countries across various industries, helping CEOs, CXOs, and board of directors handle cybersecurity accountability challenges through good cyber hygiene and proactive cybersecurity compliance programs. He is a Forbes books author and speaker. And as we talk about in the podcast, he's also a knight, but we'll leave that as a teaser there. So welcome to the podcast, Mathieu.
Thank you very much.
You mentioned that you engage with board of directors and the C-suite. And I wonder if you could share with our listeners, what do you find in terms of your engagements when dealing with cybersecurity? What are some of the key trends or key things that you've learned in engaging with the board of directors?
So I think that very often there's a disconnect between what the board is thinking about cyber security, compliance, cyber accountability, and what's actually happening in the real world. And so I often refer to what I call the 5 stages of cyber accountability grief. The first stage is where the board will say that this doesn't apply to us. That's the complete denial stage. It doesn't apply to us. We're here to drive profits for shareholders, to create employment, to add value to the community, but we're not here to do the cyber part. The next stage is the anger. We've already appointed a chief security officer. We've given you money for compliance training. We've given you money for firewalls, for antivirus. Go and talk to the compliance folks. That's not really our worry. Then comes the bargaining part. And the bargaining part is probably the most threatening to some extent, because that's where the board or the C-level people will say, okay, well, we can see that our competitors are being attacked. We can see that the regulators are paying them visits. Might happen to us. So what we'll do is we'll engage with a very reputable firm. They'll come in, they'll do a gap analysis. They might do a pen test. They'll give us results. They'll say that they'll engage with us for 2-3 years to take corrective action, and that's off the hook. And that's a very dangerous part, because whilst it's a good thing to do that, it's really not a silver bullet. Then comes the depression. Oh my God, we have been hacked. Oh my God, the regulator is at the door, and it's at our door this time. And then eventually comes the acceptance stage, where they realize that they're doing 60 to 70% or even more of what they're supposed to do, but not necessarily in the right order or in the right way or in a way that's demonstrating their intent to do the right thing. And so what we need to do, I think, as a security industry, compliance industry, is we need to help them understand that process and understand that cyber is here to add value. And if you do it the right way, it can actually even put all of those assets onto your financial statements. And you can turn something that is seen as the Department of No as a business enabler.
So you have access to a lot of different boardrooms in a lot of different regions. And I'm wondering, is there something that basically everybody is worried about right now, sort of top of mind for everyone when it comes to cybersecurity? And in contrast to that, is there something that almost nobody is worried about that you think people ought to be concerned about?
It's a great question. So the thing that everybody is worried about right now is ransomware. And ransomware is rampant, and that's true. But the reality, again, is that when you look at the way it propagates, still propagates because people are not trained the right way. So they're not trained to seeing a phishing email with a link that's going to execute the software, and they're not trained to ring their security department if they see that something is not right. They're not trained not to talk to their best friend who is an IT guru of some sort, and they're going to sort out the company computer that's been infected. We see that everywhere, and we see a lot of money being put into training on phishing and ransomware, and that's good. What I think we're not seeing enough is enough work around critical infrastructure protection at two levels. At the kind of national level, so protecting the grid, protecting the banking, the health system, and so on, but also at a personal level. And this is what I call personal critical infrastructure. So today, I would guarantee that each of you have 3 to 5 connected devices beside you right now. When you get home, you probably have about 20 to 25. If you've got a smart home, then suddenly you've got critical infrastructure in your smart home. And so if you don't protect your smart home, you're not going to be careful at work. If you're not taught how to be careful at work, you're not going to protect your home. And one day you'll use your company device at home, and there'll be the back door back into the corporate network. So I do think that the industry is currently not doing enough around education around what constitutes your own personal infrastructure.
Join us on Cybersecurity Inside wherever you get your podcasts to find out from this French night what every board member is worried about, and perhaps more importantly, what most board members are not worried about but should be.